Yeah, actually, before the game, I was feeling like I was plateauing a little bit in the season, so I was feeling a little bit upset about my own personal play. However, I was able to watch some video and get like a confidence boost, like seriously, like the night before the game. And so that kind of gave me a little fire under me, and I just went into the game thinking like, all right, like this is our time to show who we are, specifically against like a new St. Thomas team who has just come into the Division I realm. It was exciting to be able to play them on our home field, just to see what they were all about and to see what we were all about since it was our first conference game. Tiana had a great game. I mean, obviously she had a hat trick. That's insane. That's something you don't see very often in college soccer. And yeah, I did have 2 assists, but they were very well supported by several other members on the team, and it was just nice to have the whole team support, the coaching staff just there. Every time I looked over, they were cheering me on. I could hear my name being yelled, and that's just really helpful when it comes to assisting and helping with goals and everything. So, yeah. That on our team specifically, we do a really good job at like cheering each other on and rooting for each other, no matter who scores or who's gonna get the goal. On our team, it's like no matter what, it could be Emma who scores or it could be Tiana, who's a center forward, who scores. And either way, we're going to be happy as long as we come out with a win. I mean, Tiana getting those 2 first goals, they were both really good goals, great goals on her part, but I think we look less at who's scoring, just the fact that we are scoring and that we're able to get those goals and bring home a win, especially on our home field, especially for our first game in conference. So as a whole entire team, I think we just tend to root for a goal, not necessarily root for someone to score a goal. No, not taking away at all from Tiana's 3 goals. That was amazing. That's awesome for her. But I think just as a team, we've really accomplished this whole chemistry and bonding that no matter what, we're going to be extremely happy, whether it's a defender or a forward or whoever scores the goals. It's really funny that you say that because on the field, when I had taken the ball and dribbled into the box and I had the cross and Tiana shot it, she shot it, and I thought from my angle that it went in, but I saw that it went out and hit the fence, and usually when that happens, that means that there's no goal. But I swear I had seen it go inside the post. So you can see in the video, I throw my hands up in the air, and then Tiana looks at me and she's celebrating, and then she stops and she's like, oh, she does this oh man, and then I go, in the video, you can see me put my hands down, and I'm upset, and I'm wait, what? And then everyone's celebrating, and we're waiting for the ref, and then finally the ref does this, meaning that it was a goal, and then we finally celebrate. So the whole thing on the field was we thought we scored, then we thought we didn't, then we thought we did again, and then it was confirmed. So that was crazy, but it was a fun time. So right. Well, honestly, me and Emma and Abby actually. So the 3 of us are all 5th years on the team. We all came in together, and so it's really cool to see the development of all 3 of us in the sport, specifically Emma. You come in as a goalie, and usually there's someone ahead of you, and then maybe the next year there's someone ahead of you, and she's just really blossomed, and she's come into her own, and it's super cool to see somebody like Emma, who's such a humble person, be nationally ranked and highly nationally ranked, not just nationally ranked. She's up there. Our defense is solid, and so for our forward line or our attacking lines, we know that we have solid players back there. There's really no fear. I'll see a ball get played, a beautiful ball from the other team, or a beautiful pass, but I have no doubt in my mind that our defense is going to come out on top with the ball. So it's really nice to just have that confidence as a player that looks back on the defense. And I'm sure it's nice for the defenders that now we've been scoring a little more, they can look forward and have a little bit more confidence in the attacking lines as well. Yeah, I actually had talked to one of our players on the field after the game about that. It was the first time in the season that we had ever been scored on first. Even in our previous loss to Wyoming, we still scored first. They came out with the win, but we scored first. So that was the first time ever we had been down. And we were talking about how we think it's actually good that happened because it will help our team really try to figure out what are we going to do when we run into a problem like this. What are we going to do? How are we going to react? And I don't think we reacted bad at all. I mean, I think we played a good second half. Obviously, we didn't come out with the win, but I think that we had good control over the game. I wish we could have put one more in the back of the net, at least tied it up, get us into overtime, but that wasn't the case. So hopefully that kind of taught us a lesson, maybe go at that angle, taught us a lesson that even if we do get scored on, we need to come back even stronger. Or maybe it taught us a lesson that let's just not get scored on first and let's do the scoring instead. And that way we don't even have to come back from a deficit. Yeah, I think looking forward to Oral Roberts in Kansas City, our team kind of was taught a lesson. You had said earlier in the interview, like, that's the first time we lost to Western Illinois in a while, and I think, like, we maybe had the mindset going into the game, but I don't necessarily think we were too overconfident, but it's really hard not to look at how a team was in the last years. So I think, like, subconsciously you think about, oh, how did this team play last year? That's going to be really similar to them this year. But I think Western Illinois taught us that that might not be the case. That could be a completely different and new team. So I think that we're just going into the weekend on a clean slate, and we're just realizing that we're playing two teams that are both deserving. They're both two great women's soccer teams, and we're a great women's soccer team, and whoever decides to do the all-the-time things all the time more, and that's one of our big mottos, is going to come out with a win. And so if we can go into the games with that mindset, I think that we're going to come out of the weekend with 2-0, and that's definitely our hope. Yeah, it's hard. There's days where I try to cherish it day by day. There's days that I try to look to the end, and I'm like, gotta get through it. It's been a long ride. It's been a roller coaster for me, for sure. So it's definitely a whirlwind of emotions. I would say the best way to explain the season for me is just bittersweet. I'm, like, so happy that I was able to be a part of this program, and I'm really, really sad that it's ending. I mean, we have not even 10 games left total, and that's definitely a scary thought, but it's also a thought that I think keeps the people who are fifth years and even the fourth year girls, it keeps us just going, knowing that, like, this is our last, if not one of our last years, and I just want to finish out this season strong. I want to get in the conference tournament, and I want to win the conference tournament, and so that's at the end of the day, that's my goal for this season. Well, I think last year was big strides for us since we were able to finally get into the conference tournament. That's part of the reason that I stayed, because I know that our team is capable of winning the conference tournament. I mean, I think we have so much talent. Each year it seems like our freshman class comes in with just more and more talent, and because our team's doing better, we're able to bring in better players, and, like, that's just how it works. And so it's just really exciting to, like, see the younger players and then see who we have now. And at this moment in time, we basically have the same starting lineup that we did last year, minus one player. And so knowing that, and knowing that we already, hit our goal of making the conference tournament last year, and this year we're going to be able to hopefully go in and win a game and maybe even win the tournament, is a super exciting thought. I think our goal is definitely, obviously, to make it there. I'm confident that we will, and then our goal to win it, I think that's just, like, the next thing. Like, that's the next step. That's the next thing we have to do, and we know we have to do it. And so when our team has a goal in mind, when our team has some sort of picture of what they want, like, we aren't afraid to just go ahead and take it. So I'm hoping that through this season we can show the teams, each other, and just everyone that we're going to be the team that wins a game in the conference tournament, at least.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. Obviously it was also D-Day, so there were a lot of people in town, a lot of excitement around South Dakota sports, so it was really fun to open up conference that weekend. Friday night was super exciting. We wanted to come out and really put on a performance on our home field and in front of our fans, and especially with St. Thomas being a new team in our conference and in the Division I world, we definitely had something behind us that we really wanted to prove a point and come out firing, and I think we did that, and that was really exciting. Sunday, unfortunately, didn't fall our way. I think, if we would have had 15 more minutes on the clock, we probably would have been able to get a second goal on the board and extend the game a little bit longer, but sometimes unfortunately, we can't put that time on the clock, but I think overall it was a good weekend. We learned a lot as a group, and I think now we can really focus this week in our goals for this coming weekend. Yeah, I think, sometimes you have to push that outside, and, sometimes that adds a lot of pressure, and you don't always want that coming in on the game. And so I think for us it was knowing what we're capable of and knowing that we're confident in what we do, especially on the defensive end of things, and just trusting in ourselves and trusting what we've been working on. And, you do have those days where things just don't fall your way, and that's totally fine. And they're great lessons to learn from, and we look at the film and, we get back on the practice field and start to work out those kinks and make sure that the next time that those environments happen, we know a little bit better on what to do. And I think, there's definitely no loss of confidence in each other, and I think that's going to continue throughout our season. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where Emma has a fun little catchphrase where she says she has to have a memory of a goldfish, and you kind of have to have, it happens and you have to move on. There's no ability to dwell on that moment, and I think in some ways that's a special thing. We're privileged enough to be in a sport where we can't dwell on it because there's always another thing coming, and with that, I think that's just the mindset we have to take going forward. We learned the lessons that we did, and we had some good moments on Sunday for sure, and we just want to build on those and just make sure that when things go wrong, we're able to solve problems and, just continue working on our strengths. Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting weekend. I think we're really looking forward to getting back on the field. You always want to end a game with not a bitter taste in your mouth, and so I think we're anxious to get back on the field and get the winning mentality back in our system again. So we're really looking forward to getting on another team's field and really kind of just continuing what South Dakota soccer does, and what a better chance in this weekend just to continue in our conference play and, maybe getting on a different field and maybe changing our views a little bit. That might help, who knows, but we're really looking forward to it and excited to get back on the field.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.